There is a lot that is happening on the political front, from impeachment to new names added to the list of candidates for the Democrats. To analyze what is happening politically, I am joined now by two of our analysts. Tom Corbett is a former governor of Pennsylvania. He is also a former state attorney general and a former U.S. attorney for Western District of Pennsylvania. The governor now teaches law at Duquesne University. Also teaching law at Duquesne is Joseph Sabino Mistick. Joe is well versed in politics in Pittsburgh and across the state, having served in the Caligari and Maslow administrations and advising other politicians across the state through the years. Gentlemen, thanks so much for being with us. As you both know, the House today, the Democrats in the House said that they are going to move 2 articles of impeachment to the floor for a vote. Did the Democrats make their case?
Well, I think they made the case they needed to make to get this far. This is just, this is more like the preliminary hearing if we were to draw an analogy to a criminal process. And it doesn't take much, but I think they have a lot. I mean, all you have to do is listen to the president, what he says, and listen to his chief of staff, what he says. If you believe your own eyes and your own ears, they've said pretty much he did this.
Governor, members on your side of the party say that's not the case.
Well, we disagree, and it's nice that Joe and I work together, but we tend to agree to disagree sometimes, and this is one of those cases. They made their case for what they needed to do. They're going to get a majority of the votes in the House to pass the articles of impeachment, but then it comes down to what's going to happen in the Senate.
All right. Well, that we can all agree on. You're both attorneys. You're a former U.S. attorney, as I mentioned, state attorney general. You have practiced law for some time. What happens in this is not a court of law, necessarily. There's a trial that takes place within the Senate.
That's right.
But this is a case of trying to gain public opinion. It's a court of public opinion that the Democrats and the Republicans are also trying to do. The latest polls we have may shed some light on this, and that is this was released by about a week ago, basically after the House Intelligence Committee wrapped up its hearings and then moved on to the Judiciary Committee. This is from the Economist YouGov, the latest polls I could find, and on 11/26, the favored impeachment 50%, no 43%. But look what happened in a week. Joe, those in favor of impeachment went down, and those saying no to impeachment went up.
Well, it looks like about a 2% shift, which is clearly within the margin of error. I don't think any of these polls matter. This isn't about that. This is a process provided to us by our Constitution. It's a gift. We should be happy that we have such a thing, that we can stand up to the most powerful leader in the land. And it really shouldn't be political. This is what's called for at this time under these circumstances, and we're moving forward as our nation should.
He says it shouldn't be political. Is it political?
Well, it is political. You can't help it but be political because it's laid out in the Constitution, and we have political parties. And if you go back in time, the founders really didn't want to see political parties, but of course they were created, and it is political. What's interesting in the numbers, though, is they really haven't changed very much. And I think they reflect somewhat to the fact that people are tired of hearing about it.
Well, I think you could also say that Democrats are going to be locked in basically where they are. Most Republicans are going to be locked in where they are. And that leads to the independent voter. And
That's right.
And if you're going to talk about this is a political aspect or not, because it's going to be going into the election for next year. So this is the latest poll we also have among independents, and it shows that the 19th of November, a couple of weeks ago, the favor to impeach by independents was 38 to 39 saying no. That, though, now, Governor, has flipped some after the the House Intelligence Committee's report favoring 40% now to impeach.
Well, and that probably again reflects, one, it's in the margin of error.
Yes.
Who was polled is a very big question, and polling today is not nearly as reliable as it was 20, 25 years ago. But also, that can easily change when it goes over into the Senate and we start hearing testimony, because it's what's most recent in the voter's mind.
Remember this, on August 5th, 1974, Richard Nixon was in pretty good shape. On August 9th, 1974, he resigned. In 4 days, he went down the drain. So things can change quickly in this process.
That they can, but they have not been changing very quickly as far as the Democratic candidates go and where they stand in the rankings on their polls.
That's right.
We have the latest poll on that. This is an average from Real Clear Politics. And as you can see, Joe Biden right now, 28%, Sanders 17%. Warren, who was, she and Senator Sanders have kind of flip-flopped here. But the last guy there, Michael Bloomberg at 5%. Your take, you're a Democrat. What's happening here?
Well, I think it's a little early still. I think this is a great process. It's a lot of fun to watch. It's very informative. You get to see how people are shifting on the issues. You see some of the more liberal or progressive candidates moving towards the center, and now Michael Bloomberg jumps in. Now that's, that adds a new dimension we haven't anticipated, but it's probably good for the process. At the end of the day, we'll have the right candidate. As long as we don't have someone who's too extreme in either direction, the Democrats will be okay.
We have mentioned southwestern Pennsylvania. Pennsylvania is going to be critical as far as the presidential election, and Joe and Governor are going to come back a little bit later in this newscast, and we're going to talk about what all this could mean for the Pittsburgh area.